This is a relay project.
Real Talk starts right now. Here's Ryan Jesperson.
It's a holiday hangout with Quick Dick McDick in this episode of the show. That's coming up in about 10 minutes. We will head out to the farm. That's where, as they call him, QDM, his big fans, where he never stops working, it seems. Although every once in a while, those of you in ag know, there are the down times. And, harvest is in the books, and maybe all the fences are mended, and it's just too damn cold to hang out for too long outside. And it just so happens that this is one of those kind of days. And so the YouTube content creator, Farmer First, content creator second, I think, will join us. He's been a guest favorite in his previous appearances. And as we reach the end of the year, you may have noticed we're bringing back some of the all-timers for their assessments on the year that was. As we look ahead, it's a tradition with talk shows, and it's kind of a fun way to approach those mid-December days where it's dark out when we're heading into the studio. It's dark out when we're heading home from the studio, and we hope that you're enjoying these podcasts. A quick note, Johnny, by the way, we've been putting out calls in particular to Real Talkers who catch the show on Spotify every single day, because Spotify is presenting their Spotify Wrapped. And these are, of course, the podcasts, the songs, the albums, the artists that they've listened to most through the year. We were blown away by Lori's Spotify Wrapped. It was over 14,000 minutes listened, and that put her, what was that, into the top 0.5%, I think it was, of listeners. So we were thrilled, and we said, if anybody can beat Lori, let us know, because we have a special Real Talk and appreciation mail out that we'd like to send you. And we underestimated, I think, in doing the math, and math has never been my strong suit, looking at a top 0.5%, you think, well, how many people really could that be in the top half of 1%? Well, it turns out it's a lot, because the Spotify audience is significant, and we are blown away by the reaction to this. It means that our team behind the scenes, most notably Katie, shout out to Katie Cook-Chivers, our general manager, who works out of Calgary, working hard on getting mail outs to those of you who've had submitted your Spotify Wrapped. You got to show us a screen grab. You can tag us as well on Instagram at Real Talk RJ if you're posting your Wrapped results. But we want to check in on that today. We're having a ton of fun with it. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can still let us know. Now, some of you are getting creative, and you're also sending us screen grabs of like your YouTube analytics or other areas, other ways that you're getting the show. I know that Google Podcasts is defunct now, but people are finding ways on the other podcast platforms to show us how many minutes that they've been listening. Some of them translate into days. We have one submission from someone who has listened. Their podcast app has let them know they've listened for 14 and a half days this year. So I was doing the math. It's over 20,000 minutes listened. So there's a ton of them. So we're having some fun with that. We'll check on that through this week, and then we'll maybe do our own kind of Spotify Wrapped by the end of this week. We're having a blast with that. Premier Danielle Smith, as you know, joining us exclusively one-on-one in the Real Talk studio in our most recent episode. We're going to get to some of your reactions to that. The Alberta NDP, the official opposition party in Alberta, had an interesting social media post about it. We'll take this opportunity to let you know that Naheed Nenshi, Alberta's opposition leader, official opposition leader, will be joining us here in the Real Talk studio in our next episode. That'll be the 11th of December, so we'll hear from both party leaders before this week is up. A lot of ground to cover today. We're going to take you out to Jasper, plus we have a little fun brewing here in studio. Well, technically kind of distilling, I guess, in a way, an end product. Johnny doesn't even know about this one, so I get to surprise him during my Jasper Memories today, which will be a lot of fun. And, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that this episode here today is happening with the presenting sponsorship of our friends at RapidX Financial. You can find them online at rapidxfinancial.com. This is a proud made-in-Alberta solution offering crypto, including Bitcoin, your way through 3 easy channels. You can either go through 100 ATMs across Canada. Look for that RapidX Financial branding on them. There's an online portal. I'm showing that to you right now with Interac eTransfer, and an over-the-counter desk for those of you like me who could maybe use a little extra help. You want to talk to a human. You want to make sure that you do it right. With RapidX, you get real people ready to assist you with no hidden fees and no chatbots. So whether you're starting from 0 sats It's a Bitcoin reference for those of you that don't know. Starting from scratch or maybe growing your Bitcoin journey, RapidX makes it fast, easy, and secure. And right now, if you're using it for the first time at rapidxfinancial.com, they'll knock 50% off your fee with the exclusive coupon code Ryan50 on the online portal. Ryan50 on the online portal. Don't wait. It's a limited time offer. Your chance to start crypto your way. Visit rapidxfinancial.com. Use Ryan50 at checkout. Act now. Get started today with RapidX Financial. I know a lot of people are looking forward to hearing from Quick Dick. I don't know where he's going to catch us from today. He sent a photo earlier today, said it was minus 30, and he's out with the cows. We'll have to ask if he had a chance to check out our interview with Premier Danielle Smith yesterday. We sat down with her for just about 20 minutes, talked about Alberta's separation, talked about a split within the base of the United Conservatives, recall legislation we got into, of course, a ton of different stuff, healthcare reforms, pipeline plans with the Prime Minister, and more. And many of you had a lot to say about it. So I want to get to our responses on social media, in particular on Instagram and TikTok. There's a ton of comments on there. Don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms at Real Talk RJ. But I thought that what the Alberta NDP released was particularly interesting. Oh, yeah. Right? This was a short, like right after the show aired.
They're hitting the kids.
They were, and I hadn't really planned. I don't typically script my openers. You know that if you're a regular listener to the show. If it's something super serious, then I'll maybe have some thoughts mapped out to make sure that I keep myself on track. But it struck me as Premier Smith is sitting here that it is an insane time in Alberta politics. It's a crazy time in Alberta politics, maybe the craziest time in Alberta political history, although that's saying a lot. The bar's been raised high, but you could make the argument. And as I'm saying it in the introduction and welcoming her to the show, I see that her eyebrows raise. And so if you listen to the interview, that's our December 9th episode. You can find it on YouTube, find it wherever you get your podcasts. I roll into the interview by saying, when I reference this as one of the, if not the craziest time in Alberta's political history, your eyebrows raised. How come? And she goes, I don't know. She goes, I think that there's probably been crazier times. She says, but why do you think so? And so if if you listen to the interview, I basically off the top of my head said, well, like this and this and this and this and this. And then she says her bit. Well, obviously, the official opposition was watching, and they grabbed a clip of that and then turned it into their own bit of content to release it. We'll ask Nenshi about it coming up in our next episode, but here was the finished product. Your eyebrows raised when I said it's one of the wildest times.
I think there's been wilder times in politics.
What has been wilder in Alberta than right now?
Well, you tell me why you think this is wild. Bill 9 will invoke the Canadian Charter's notwithstanding clause.
It will be invoking the notwithstanding clause in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
14 other UCP MLAs face active recall efforts.
I support an independent Alberta within a united Canada. That is my position. People are pretty happy with what we're doing.
So there you have it. Always love it when Real Talk becomes part of the story, the jumping off point, the interviews on the record. So that's what the Alberta NDP did with it, highlighting, of course, the booing at the UCP AGM around that pipeline MOU with Ottawa, and, of course, touching on those recall campaigns. Unless I've missed an update, it's now 17 UCP MLAs, one NDP MLA that are facing that recall legislation, and that's just the beginning. So that's how that landed. We were taking a look at our social media to see how the interview landed with our followers on Instagram and TikTok in particular. Here's our Instagram page. You can follow us at Real Talk RJ. Thanks to those of you that do. By the way, thanks to those of you that got us to 10,000 on Instagram. We appreciate that. That was a milestone that I think we were looking to hit. And we posted a short Johnny put together on separation. Kind of an interesting take from Danielle Smith talking about, basically flying close to the sun, right? Making it easier for these separatists to get their petition. Typically, you would think in front of the chief electoral officer, though this recent Bill 14 that was tabled in the legislature just a few days ago has put that under the purview of the justice minister instead, stripping powers from the chief electoral officer. We asked her about that. She in a roundabout way, says it's Thomas Lukazik. Actually, not roundabout. She states it on the show. It's Thomas Lukazik, she says, who's made separation easier. Not everybody buying it on the Instagram post, but not everybody opposed to it either. See, Jeffrey here says, best premier in the country. Meantime, the next comment from Derek says she's dangerous. Pamela thinks it was dangerous for us even to have her in studio in person, says Pamela. Interesting take on that. Hart Don says, what makes politicians think that they know better than judges or prosecutors or medical doctors, nurses, teachers, profs, public health experts? Don says it's extremely dangerous that a politician like Danielle Smith doesn't recognize their own limitations. Bab says the spirit of the law, the notwithstanding clause, was never intended to give extremists all the power. One World Synergy says it's appalling how much time and energy and money and resources have been wasted on this topic, talking about separation, when there are so many other important priorities like healthcare and our education system in Alberta. Our premier and government should be focused on that right now. And the premier's not only allowed this talk on separation, but provoked it. One World Synergy wants to see her call an election. Sharon says she's not governing for all Albertans. MJ Eagleson wants an election. Agrog says it's amazing she can sit upright without a spine. I don't know about that. Is it no spine, or is it the fact that she's basically fearless in pushing her agenda or her party's agenda? I don't get the sense that she's spineless. I get the sense that they're kind of doing what they want for their base. Blair says you don't need to convince others besides the Take Back Alberta crew. You know, who owns Premier? She's supposed to work for the people of the province, not special interest groups. Those are some of our comments on Instagram. Over on TikTok, it's always interesting to see if the platform audiences have different takes on this. By the way, guys, we're like 700 away from 15,000 followers on TikTok. If you want to help get us there at Real Talk RJ. Here's what those of you had to say. I mean, top comment here says, you know, the premier doesn't get to supersede the law when making new or changing old laws. Says this is despicable. Mamat says she's proven that she doesn't listen to the majority. Meantime, Nanana, that's Linda, says, listen, guys, she's doing her job. Lisa says, I can't stand the word salads, that whole idea around an independent Alberta in a united Canada. You know, we asked her about that. We asked her specifically to answer Thomas Lukazik's question from their Forever Canadian petition, and she did, right? We asked her, do you support Alberta remaining in Canada? And she did say yes on the record in the interview, for whatever that's worth. What the deuce, as a comment on TikTok, says, I've never ever seen any premier of my province be so federally deflective in pretty much every single issue. Says the premier needs to fix one issue in Alberta. Fix one. Leave the feds out of it. Just pick an issue and fix it without mentioning a pipeline for like the millionth time. That's what the deuce has to say. I mean, they are looking to fix healthcare. She probably spent the most time in the interview, I'd say probably 5 minutes or so, talking about healthcare reforms and what's coming up. Our question, the jumping off point, there were two healthcare related questions in the interview. One of them about dual delivery health, that kind of hybrid of public, private healthcare delivery, in particular on the elective surgeries. And then we asked her about the cancellation of talks, or government abruptly canceling talks on two chartered surgical facilities. They're like the private surgical facilities that would do public surgeries with public dollars. We've talked about it on the show quite a bit. Red Deer and Lethbridge. They were connected to companies connected to Sam Marais. Now, he's the founder and CEO of MH Care. They're the ones at the center of the procurement controversy. He's the guy that was in the luxury box with the politicians, kind of at the heart of it all. So there's a question about that in the interview, too, if you missed it. Sing Robin Singh says, if only she could hear the will of the people. Meantime, Bulldog says, Alberta independence is the opportunity of a lifetime for Albertans. I don't know about that. Option 686 says, Lukazik messed up, full stop. T says, gosh, she can spin anything. So those are some of the comments on our social media posts, our highlights on that. Let us know what you think about that. Another interesting moment, before we get to Quick Dick, I wanted to touch on this. We asked her if her office, if the Premier's office is seeing any immediate benefits from that MOU with Ottawa, from that Alberta-Ottawa Energy Agreement. Have private players, international investors, CEOs been reaching out to the Premier's office, reaching out to the Energy Minister, the Finance Minister? Is there a buzz among Cabinet that agreement with Ottawa, that signed commitment from the Prime Minister, is instilling or restoring any business confidence in Alberta? I'll play this from our highlights here on our YouTube channel. You can scroll down on our YouTube channel to get past the full episodes and check out the highlights. And here's what she had to say about the MOU already paying off.
The conversations with Enbridge about their open season to expand their pipeline, 400,000 barrels a day. We're going to probably see Trans Mountain very quickly go to market with an open season for 360,000 barrels per day. We're going to see South Bow maybe partner with an American company to expand their Keystone XL system by hundreds of thousands of barrels. I'll be talking with both Doug and Wab Canoe about perhaps pipelines going to Churchill and Thunder Bay. There's conversations happening already about oil by rail to Nova Scotia. All of that is going to be going ahead. In addition to, I think we've heard about 6,000 megawatts of new potential power projects that are going to go ahead, including new ones that are going to power data centers. That would not have happened without this MOU. And then I'll do some more work. We've got our, on the bitumen pipeline that is tied to the Pathways project, we have put forward July 1st as the timeline for doing the technical analysis of that, identifying the port, identifying the route, beginning the engagement with First Nations, and then consultation will follow after that. So we've got a bit more time on that. I've always anticipated that the northern Gateway 2.0, let's call it, although it will very likely be a different port. Port of Prince Rupert seems to be a much, much better port. I always anticipated that would be the last of these other projects, but none of those other projects would have been able to go ahead without restoring the business confidence so that our producers could start expanding their operations. So you'll see a lot of activity very soon.
You'll see a lot of activity very soon. That from Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith in our December 9th interview. Make sure to check that out. Let us know what you think. You can leave a comment on the YouTube episode itself. Leave a comment on Spotify if you like, or you can always send us an email to talk@ryanjesperson.com. All right. He is a proud farmer. He is a proud producer. He is helping feed the nation. He also happens to be a stand-up comedian, and he's one of Canada's most watched YouTube content creators. He is the pride of Tufnell, Saskatchewan, and he's in the spotlight in our Real Talk feature interview of the day presented by Mercedes-Benz Edmonton West. He is Quick Dick McDick. It's so good to see you, pal.
Good to see you, Ryan. How are you, man?
I'm doing very well. Where do we find you? Is this an insulated hut? Is that like the grandest ice fishing hut we've ever seen?
So this is the office part of the calving barn here at the feedlot. Like as you said earlier, they've been running around doing some chores this morning. A little chilly here this morning, and this is the one insulated, quiet place that I can find out here with the best cell reception on the farm. So this entire interview is teetering on the balance of the success of SaskTel. So let's cross our fingers there.
Well, this interview, a big part of it is presented by the utility provider that we recommend, which is Park Power here in our home province of Alberta. But we'll give a shout out to SaskTel in the hopes that the universe will provide 5G, 5 bars, full bar coverage. You sent a beautiful photo of some of your cows earlier today. It's like minus 30 out there right now. You were probably chuckling when I said downtime on the farm, which is why we could snag you. I guess there's really no downtime, is there?
There's downtime. You have to make downtime though, right? And I think probably the best quote I ever heard was from my dad saying, he's like, if you get caught up in thinking to yourself that one day you're going to be caught up on the farm and you will have downtime, he said, it's just never going to happen. There's always going to be something to be done, right? And yeah, like there's a shot of this morning. Yeah, I get to look at that every morning, like how much better can life possibly get to? I mean, sometimes it's snowing and it's not a beautiful sunrise, but there's always stuff to do, and it's a matter of trying to make some time. I'm lucky enough that I'm out here with a guy named Mark, and we share responsibility here on the feedlot. We're feeding just over 600 animals here right now. So yeah, lots of pressure and lots of stuff going on, but that's okay. You can balance it a little bit and share the workload, and we still get to live a pretty good life here, right?
Yeah, man. My understanding as a city slicker with relatives in ag is that the hired hands are like the farm just does not operate without the hired help. And I remember even my Uncle Ralph, my grandpa's brother, So he was the one that kind of took over the farm when the succession happened, right? You know, it goes down through the generations. So it was Ralph, who was the youngest of 11, and he was the one that ended up running the farm. But I just remember seeing how he always called him his hired man. And I remember seeing just how he would treat him and how he would talk about him when he wasn't there. And you got a really clear sense of like how integral he was to the entire thing.
It's basically family, but I mean, like you spend a lot of time together here, and like Mark and I aren't related. I mean, we went to school back in the day. Heck, both of us went and worked a longer career in oil and gas in Alberta before actually coming back here to Saskatchewan, right? And it's more family. Like Mark and I spend more time together than I think Mark does with his wife. You know?
Yeah, sure.
You know, and it's just, you rely on each other, and there's a trust between the two of you. And I mean, there's a lot of other guys that come and help when we get into the busy season of planting and harvest and all that stuff, right? But it's definitely a keen relationship. I got to get this off my chest, Ryan. I got to make this happen. Guy, I messaged you a little while ago because I'm usually a guy that catches up later on Real Talk when I get a chance, kind of thing, because there's lots happening on the farm here.
Appreciate it.
I think I was busting your balls one day, being like, "Dude, are you hungover? Like, you sound like you're real slow and emotional today." And later on, I get figured out that because I always watch later on, I always watch at 1.5, and I was just watching you live at real speed, and I was like, well, not only did you have that like traumatic event with your dog getting into the river that day, but then here I am busting your balls later on about being, why are you such a slow talker today, man?
Yeah, I think.
I feel better.
I think also though I was hungover that day, so I think you were onto something. Now the dog nearly dying in the river had nothing to do with me drinking, for the record, just so people are aware. Yeah, that was a wild time, man. That still, when I think about that, we did a whole Real Talk interview on it. People can check it out in our archives. Actually, maybe I'll punch it in the show notes on the podcast when people hear that, so they can check that out. That was absolutely crazy. Good thing. I mean, she was a black lab. Long story short, she ran out. Her recall's amazing. She's the most well-behaved dog you've ever seen in your life. She comes from good Saskatchewan hunting stock, by the way. All of her brothers are all bird dogs, and they love the shed hunting, right? They're big on finding sheds. But she's the one city slicker. But yeah, she ran out onto some, like, basically some ice floes to chase some ducks. The ducks flew away. She was in the water and she couldn't get back out, and she was in there for like 40 minutes. And it was just a crazy circumstance, but shout out to her. She's a warrior. She ate steak that night. She got herself out of the water.
Hey, that's highly spoiled. Yeah. It's, ice is a dangerous thing. We deal with it with livestock and stuff here too. And we got fall grazing going on. You get into the wintertime, you get a little crust of ice going on dugouts and everything. Like, it's amazing the amount of things out there that can cause a person or their animal stress, just when you don't think about it, right?
What would happen? Like, have you had that happen? Like, what, you get like cattle going through the ice and stuff like that?
Oh, absolutely. It can happen. You gotta be very careful, especially like that's traditionally like where they go back to for water. That's where they've learned how to water their entire year, right? Yeah. And then if you get a couple of cold nights in a row, all of a sudden there's a false layer of ice on a dugout, and you can wind up in a real big problem really fast. There's a lot of people that use dugouts and lakes to water their livestock throughout the course of the winter. And you get in the habit of coming to chop the ice hole at the same time every day, so your animals get used to what time they're going to go there, because by the morning it's going to be froze over again. So all of a sudden one day you don't show up at the right time when that ice is still a little bit thick. All of a sudden they're wandering around looking for where that ice hole is supposed to be, and you can have a pretty big wreck on your hands really fast, right? So something as simple as chopping a water hole for animals can have some severe consequences if it doesn't happen at the right time. So it's a lot of things that, one of a million things that would probably never cross anybody's mind that happens on agricultural operations every day, right?
No kidding, man. Well, one of the reasons, I mean, like, my very first introduction to you several years ago was the post that you've done, and I've given you credit for this. Like, one video I remember in particular, you were teaching all of us, helping us all understand what silage is, and you've done all these really neat videos helping people better understand ag. You've also got strong political opinions. You also share like chili recipes, and you're a stand-up comedian, and I love that you are all over the fucking map, man, because this show kind of is too, and we've connected with you, I think, along those lines and in that spirit. So as part of this holiday hangout, I thought it'd be cool if we just kind of shot the shit, caught up, and I'm curious to ask you a bunch. I want to ask you about harvest, but first, had the Premier on yesterday, Alberta's Premier, and she's talking about this Alberta-Ottawa Energy Agreement, technically a memorandum of understanding, and we just played a clip. I'm sure you heard it. She's saying that, they're seeing or they're expecting big things soon. And she says none of that would be happening had business confidence not yet been restored. But as you know, a week and a half ago at her UCP AGM, she didn't get a lot of credit for the agreement. In fact, she got booed for it, for working with Carney, for working with Ottawa. The general sense there, I'm paraphrasing, is that faction of the membership is not convinced that Canada is not broken. How's it all landing with you as you're watching from Saskatchewan?
So, Ryan, were they booing or were they saying blue? Wasn't that the excuse when Carney got booed?
Is that what they said? I'm pretty sure it was boo. I'm pretty sure. There wasn't a lot of room for interpretation on that one.
I think obviously there's this separatist sentiment that exists in Alberta, and like a lot of it's going to be within the UCP, and I think they're gonna have problems to deal with on their hands. I think she's doing the best that she can to try and balance it. That's a tough ship to balance because there's people that have given up that are just going to be gone and they want out of Canada no matter what, and there's people that want to be within a united Canada. I think that's probably the most progress that we've ever seen between a Western provincial government, specifically more Alberta and Saskatchewan, of what's gone on between Danielle Smith and Mark Carney. But I mean, Smith left a lot on the table with the industrial carbon pricing, and there's a lot of things that have to be met before possibly this might happen in 2040. It was, if I've got those numbers right. That's a long ways away, man. And I think at the end of all the stuff here that exists in Canada, like all of it's a long ways away. Sean Haney said it best, a quote that he had on Real Talk, where I saw him, he said, Canada's constipated, right? Because I think this MOU is maybe just going to be another really good example of how long and frustrating and drawn out it takes to get projects of this capacity done here in Canada. And I think that's why you're still going to see a lot of investment continue to flee the country. Like, take Nutrien, for example, that just decided that they were going to build a port down in Washington to export their potash out of Saskatchewan versus the BC coast. Big, huge business decisions are being made basically on a dollars and cents value of where do we get the best value for a dollar. And it's a great step to see Alberta and possibly even Saskatchewan working with the federal government, because we haven't seen that for almost 11 years. What we're going to get out of it, I guess we're not going to find out yet. The proof's going to wind up being in the pudding, and the pudding's 15 years down the road. Are
you, there's all this talk about Alberta separation, and there's, a decent amount of talk about Quebec separation. And a lot of people are starting to wonder if Canada could see two referendums or referenda in the same year, which could be Johnny and I were trying to I don't know. I'm just trying to. It's what happens when you try to sound smart. You can paint yourself in a corner, but the live chat will sort us out. I guarantee it. There's people smarter than us. Hey, by the way, on a gut punch front, kind of a weird thing for me to just sprinkle in and throw in, but I'll try to keep up here. Cactus Sheriff is in our live chat, powered by Park Power. How's this for tragic? Says they lost about 10 years ago 8 bison to the ice on a dugout. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's
I can. I've seen some very tragic things happen here with even bigger numbers than that, not specifically on our farm, but I've seen it happen. And it's tragic. It is a tragedy.
Oh, it's horrific to even think about. M. Aitken, ranching, farming family, says our dugout is fenced off. There's no livestock allowed in. Yes. They pump to a tank in the summer, and then they have a heated waterer in their corrals for winter watering. So I guess that's another way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can look at it, right? And I mean, like a lot of our fall grazing are in the middle of fields that we actually farm. So we use cattle to manage second growth instead of using herbicides, pesticides, all that stuff. So a lot of those areas we're just not able to fence off because we need to be able to farm them. So yeah, it's give and take, and you just got to watch it close. But yeah, things can go south really fast. Yeah, no kidding. So you've got this separation talk in Alberta. Just after a casual comment about 8 bison dying, not trying to make light of it. I wouldn't be joking if it was yesterday. But it seems like, Saskatchewan voters, the proud folks in Saskatchewan, are really not all that different from Albertans in a lot of ways. Now, obviously, there's some different issues. The economies look a little bit different, obviously. The cities are made up a little bit different. But for the most part, when people talk about the prairie provinces, there's a lot of synergy. You typically see the premiers, in Alberta and Saskatchewan, agreeing on a lot of things, fighting on some common fronts. Fighting against the carbon tax for years and years and years.
Are there like Saskatchewan separation rumblings? Are there a lot of people talking about hitching their wagon to Alberta? I mean, I've seen different theories about the notion of Cascadia, which could be like the western provinces, and we're going to steal Washington and Oregon from the U.S. But what are the sentiments like on your home soil?
Yeah, sure there is. It's like Saskatchewan is kind of like Alberta's little cousin,
Yeah.
and I say that with the utmost respect for and love for my province and the people here. But I mean, we got about a quarter of the population that you guys do. Both provinces, obviously, like if you want to call it, founded on the same day in 1905, right? So we're the exact same age. It's just Alberta's done a little better job of working with their natural resources, specifically oil and gas, right? But there's the Saskatchewan Prosperity Project and a few things that are happening here in Saskatchewan, and I think there's a lot of people, be it the U.S. that they're trying to mimic, or be it Alberta that they're trying to mimic, always want to have that kind of a thing going on in Saskatchewan here. I think the layout of our two major cities are very similar to Alberta. You can see like our cities, especially in this last provincial election, predominantly voted NDP, where you see the same kind of thing happening in Alberta, where you get your city centers are going more towards NDP and the outside more towards, your right-wing conservative government SAS party here in Saskatchewan, right? But you definitely do hear these rumblings kicking around here. I mean, personally, I don't have the faith in our government that we would be able to make a go at it alone, because even like right now, we just keep running a deficit. And we're talking about the amount of potash that we export, or all the good things that we have happening here in Saskatchewan. We can't seem to stay caught up on any of our infrastructure or anything else, our healthcare. So I don't have the confidence that we would be able to go at it alone, or that it would make that much of a difference, that it would make things better. I've always been a proud Canadian and an advocate to make things better in Canada. That being said, I don't think there's anything wrong with anybody in Alberta and Saskatchewan wanting a fair deal out of the Confederation of Canada. We can't really get into the topic of equalization, transfers, or payments here in Saskatchewan, because typically we're just kind of like lukewarm in the middle. We usually don't contribute, we usually don't receive, kind of thing. Whereas in Alberta, I mean, it's a different story, and I could see where people's frustration would come from that, right?
Let me ask you, potash has been huge, and it's I mean, it's been in the news a lot. I mean, I can take my pick on outlets, but here we'll reference the globeandmail.com. Kate Helmore reporting on this. Canadian fertilizer giants in crosshairs of Trump administration's price fixing probe. It seems like anytime we're talking about tariffs, we're hearing from different premiers, different regions in Canada. Obviously, Doug Ford has been talking a lot about the auto sector. You're obviously, and Alberta, for the most part, has been, I have to say, relatively unscathed. But there were a lot of concerns around energy exports. People are concerned, obviously, in BC about softwood and other lumber-related industries. Tariffs in Saskatchewan, has this been an ongoing thing? Is it hitting home? I mean, we could talk about canola. We could talk about Chinese tariffs, too. Like, how has it impacted your day-to-day?
Like, I think this is a bigger thing, Ryan, is that everyone, and I get why. It's because it's the hub. It's one of our largest trading partners in Canada. Everybody's very focused on U.S. tariffs, but it's not the only place that's hurting us right now. Our canola market has been hurt pretty terribly by Chinese tariffs on canola meal and canola oil. And there's also a tariff there on peas, which kind of trashed our yellow pea market. And now we've seen some difficulties with India as well, right? There's a lot of different trading partners that we have, and basically, look, we're an export province. We export, I believe it's 80% of everything that we make here, just because we only have 1.2 million people here, and we have basically, let's say, all of Canada's potash here, right? Which I think about half goes down to the States. But even just recently here, it just gets to the point where I think you really got to turn the noise off on some of these things that happen, with Trump saying that, we're going to need to look at a tariff on Canadian fertilizer. Well, when you think of that, I mean, 80% of the U.S.'s potash comes from right here in Saskatchewan. And now Trump just announced a $12 billion bailout fund for farms down in the U.S., which is going to be funded by tariffs. But the end user is the one that's paying for tariffs. So essentially, it's a taxpayer funding their own payout on something that your president has imposed on the people that are basically going through hard times, with soybean and corn markets right now. So to me, it just seems like a tornado of nothing that makes any sense of why we're continuing to do this. I mean, my opinion is that we need to just get to the bargaining table and get a deal made and stop all this nonsense. And I don't think that that's ever going to happen with Trump, because he's like a little kid that gets given the mic at the Christmas concert. he just doesn't want to give it up, because every time he says something, everyone's talking about him again. And that's kind of what happens with narcissists, Ryan, is they love being talked about, right?
Right up until you said the narcissist part, I was going to ask for a dot-to-dot line drawn to Quick Dick McDick back in the day at the elementary school Christmas concert. Was that a personal reference? Were you the guy that as soon as Dick got the mic, everybody just sat back and listened?
No, I was loud enough that I didn't need the mic. But I would say my starring role would definitely have been the little shepherd boy, and one of my co-stars was dressed up as a sheep. And I really stole the stage there. Yeah.
Wow! Did you grow up in a faith community? Were you like a God-fearing folk? Did you grow up in the church?
No, my dad did, and my dad raised us to just be able to make our own decisions, and he kind of stopped going to church. I don't go to church. I believe everybody can just go ahead and believe in whatever religion they want and do their thing, and I do my thing, and it's strange that even I was just doing a corporate Christmas party here the other night, and you really got to be careful how much fun you make of Christmas depending on your crowd. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's just comedy, and I'm just trying to poke holes in some stuff. But you can get some people pretty offended pretty fast, depending on what kind of jokes you're making. So. Yeah,
the reason I asked was I'm not sure if you're familiar with Colby's Clubhouse.
No.
This is the first time I'm Googling this in ever. Because Google didn't exist. So, Johnny, it's okay if you show my screen. So Colby's Clubhouse is an American, it says, not was, maybe it's still going, an American Christian live action kids TV show that teaches principles from the Bible through songs and everyday lessons. So here it is, Colby's Clubhouse. The reason I bring it up, and you brought back warm and fond memories. So Colby was this. Look at this. There's Salty was his name, like with a P, like PSAL. So Salty was the singing songbook, and he would sing like the Christian hymns. And then Colby was this computer. And anyway, so this when it came to my like the highlight of my onstage career, my debut, it was alongside Colby at private school, at Christian school, Quick Dick, and I had one of the starring roles. Right, where in the video is Colby for the star? They don't have him in here very much. I'm shuttling through, trying to find him. But this takes me back to some pretty. Oh, there he is. There's Colby the computer. You see him? And Colby had all the answers for all the kids that were asking the big questions. Look at that. There's a number you can call if you'd like to save your soul, the whole 9 yards. But that was mine. So you got to be the shepherd. I got to be Colby's helper.
Colby looked like he might have run on MS-DOS from what I can see. Yeah.
I think it was like the 5 1/4 inch floppy. This was
Could you play Oregon Trail after I'm not quite sure, right?
That wasn't even invented yet. There's no chance it was invented yet. The idea of a computer. I think actually, if I remember correctly, Colby on stage, who was they made it. I mean, shout out to everybody who made him. He was made out of cardboard boxes and paper mache, and it was really quite a thing. And I'm old as hell, man. I'm a 77 born.
Days.
Me too.
I fear what the 3D printer is replacing here, because how can you not go back and get some flour and water and some newspaper and just make something magic out of it?
Well, and how do you make paper mache when they're not really printing newspapers anymore either? I mean, they are. You got to find them.
I don't want to be a part of this world anymore, Ryan.
I know.
I don't like progress.
We're losing paper mache. The kids their fingers aren't sticking together anymore. What the hell are we doing? Man, this would have been literally 40 years ago, dude. I'm rewinding. I didn't think I was going to be talking about Colby's Clubhouse today, but here we are with Quick Dick McDick. Don't go anywhere. I want to ask you how hunting season went. I want to ask you about harvest. Plus, I want to get into our live chat questions for Quick Dick. As we're talking, if you want to check out what's going on in Quick Dick's world, you can always, of course, subscribe to his YouTube channel along with 150,000 other people. You can always check out quickdickmcdick.ca as well. He's got merch, including... as they say in his neck of the woods, the bunny hugs. He's got gloves and mittens as well for this time of year, and we'll talk about his stand-up comedy schedule. That's coming up too. These conversations happen with support of our friends at Colby Renewable Energy. And as we're talking about solar, by the way, I remember chatting with Jake Kubisky. He's the founding... What does he say, Johnny? He's the president, CEO. He's the big kahuna. He's the boss. He's the founder of Colby And he was telling me about agricultural implementation. I said, hey, how are they using solar on farms? He goes, in a ton of different ways. They do a bunch of agricultural installations, not just the whole solar farm idea, but for farms that are looking to, for off-grid power. One of the interesting applications he talked to me about was producers, in particular ranchers, that are using solar panels to power the heated water troughs. How cool is that? Now, you might think, solar panels don't work in the winter. Not the case. If you have questions about it, there's been a lot of advancements in this technology, and nobody is leading in this field like Colby is. You can find them online at colby.ca. That Johnny's showing you some of these cleanest installs you ever did see. Colby, founded by electricians and engineers. Nobody does it better. Again, colby.ca. If you're curious about what the job market has in store for you in 2026, if you're looking to level up, if you want to finally pursue that post-secondary dream you've always had, but you're looking at all the barriers in your way, when are you going to do it? You can't travel to university. You're living out of town, or you're taking care of your parents, maybe taking care of your kids, or, oh man, take 2 seconds today and check out athabascau.ca. Athabasca University is Canada's open university, world-class accredited online degrees and courses designed so you can complete your education wherever and whenever it works for you. That includes the Athabasca University MBA. You can get details on all the programs and courses. Get the ball rolling on your application. Learn about student supports, including financial aid, at athabascau.ca. Of course, it's the time of year where a lot of you are going to be thinking about your family's giving plans, philanthropy. December's a great time, if you're a charitable person, to remember that you are able to make sure that more of your donation dollars are going to your charities, less of them going to CRA, to the tax man. And North Road Investment Council has this all over the radar. Consider donating appreciated investments. You can donate stocks or ETFs, mutual funds that have grown in value, and you're going to save the capital gains tax on all those appreciated securities. It's a great way to better support the charities that you care deeply about. Plus, personal donors can access generous federal and provincial tax credits. Business owners can receive strong corporate tax deductions. This is all designed to reward meaningful giving. This is just one example of the ways that the team at North Road Investment Council is helping folks navigate the complexities of wealth accumulation, investment advisory services, and of course, giving. You can connect with the team at North Road, led by Marshall and Carrie, today by checking out northroadic.com. And while we're talking about giving, we want to remind you how proud we are to be supporting UCAN Youth Services, a nonprofit charitable organization that's helping young folks out of harm's way. Quite frankly, risky lifestyles, a lot of them gang banging, a lot of them in and out of jail, a lot of them unemployed, a lot of them unhoused. And through these ready-to-work programs, they're earning while they're learning, and then they're stepping right into job placement roles. It's a phenomenal program, and you can help by stuffing a stocking for a young person entering the workforce. Give the gift of confidence this Christmas. At ucan.ca, you can stuff a stocking. It's the little things that make a big difference. Coffee gift cards, warm socks, lunch gift cards, reusable water bottles. You can stuff a full stocking for just $100. You can do that today. It's tax deductible at ucan.ca. Hanging out with Quick Dick McDick, one of Canada's most watched YouTube creators. Do you like that title, by the way? I know a lot of you kind of furrowed your brow when I said that.
I think somebody's got to fact check you on that. I don't know. I think there's a lot more people watched out there than me.
What are you talking? What are you talking about? Is this your way to get me to kiss your ass publicly? Look at this, man.
No, I do know that I've got a predominantly Canadian following on my YouTube channel, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
And lots in Eastern Canada, lots out in Ontario. Looking to actually go do a handful of shows out there again here next year. Just there's this like a little mantra that exists that everyone in Ontario is not like us out here in Western Canada, and that Western Canada stops the Manitoba border. And I got the opportunity, in my life throughout this comedy career here now too, that's turned into a thing to go out and meet a lot of people. And I've worked with people from Eastern Canada in the oil and gas industry, and it just fills my cup to be able to go out and show everybody when we do these comedy shows that we're all basically the same kind of people. We don't have to have the same political views or work ethics or different things like that. There's there's a million things in this life that you can just go and laugh at. And I'm thankful for all my Eastern Canadian followers, and love getting the chance to meet up with them and hang out and talk about how things are different and how things are the same. And it's great, man. It really is.
So your comedy tours are now across the country. Like you're well outside the West.
I still focus closer on the West because I've got this pesky farming thing that I got to keep coming back and doing. So logistically, it's challenging to go out east because of the travel times, right? So like, I the farthest I'll be going here this winter is actually, I got one show coming up in the Peace Country in Grand Prairie that I'm super pumped for. I spent 16 years in Grand Prairie. That town was really good to me. I know a lot of folks up there, and I love the Peace Country. It's a beautiful place. It just seems to be where there's a balance of farming, oil and gas, everything. It's like home, except there's kind of some hills and some rivers, so it's just great. I'm really looking forward to get up there, but that's predominantly Western Canada, and then a few dates in the summertime out east, just because that's the time I do have time to get away from here is when the cows are out grazing. Shout out to Colby again. When you were mentioning solar waters there, we actually we use solar for remote targeted grazing. So we use solar electric fencers with the cattle, and they are fantastic. They work great, and you can move them fast, and they're very, very portable.
Yeah, so you're not like married to sort of one particular way of doing things on a farm. I mean, I talked to my relatives, they do grain, they do potatoes, they do some other stuff, but they're like predominantly dairy. And I know that, everybody I think acknowledges this, but the technology on those farms is mind blowing. Mm-hmm. Are you always kind of looking for the next thing?
Continuously. When this started off, you're not married. I was like, we're diving right into the personal things here with Quick Dick here, I guess. But it's constantly changing. There's very seldom on any agricultural operation out here, but specifically our own, there's very seldom we'll do the same thing twice in a row. We're always looking to improve it and make it better. You're showing some straight cut footage there. We did a big change on how we're working our fertilizer programs and seeding programs.
What are we seeing here? Take us through that aerial image there. What is it? It looks like
so that was the last day of harvest this year, and it was right close. So we call this our White House field. And that house actually, Mark, the guy that owns the place, he actually left that standing just kind of as he says he likes to leave it standing as a reminder of the people that came before him to help build these places, right?
I love it.
And we got a good crew of guys. Everybody throws their hats down the last swath. We take 5,000 acres of crop off every year, so it's quite the undertaking. And then there's a handful of guys that come and help us. Most of the older guys there you see are retired guys, and that's how you retire in Saskatchewan from farming. You just go back to working 4 or 5 hours a day in a combine and letting everybody know what they're doing wrong, and then you go home at night, right?
Yeah, because your wives have kicked you out of the house. That's exactly why.
Yeah, you have to have that away time, right? So I mean, it's just that was our last day, and we always save that last swath there just to put all the hats through, and then you go find your hats, and then you take everything back to the yard and eat and drink, and then go back to farming again the next day, man.
I love it. You've of course, it's no surprise. People can check out. You have your different harvest videos here, and I love how you take people behind the scenes. There's Big Blue, your big rig, and of course, obviously, there's a lot of people that are going to watch your videos that are kindred spirits that understand exactly where you're coming from. That'll appreciate kind of the deep dives on your farming insights. But there's a lot of people like me. That are learning the basics and getting insights into not just kind of the general idea around being an ag producer in Canada, but also kind of how individual harvests went, how it went year to year. For you in your neck of the woods, it could be a different story for someone that was hit by hail or somebody that was in a drought region or what have you. But how was harvest this year for you?
Yeah, it can be even in the same RM or the same county or whatever, however you denominate your your division of where you live. We had people that are 10 miles away that had half the yields we did because they didn't catch the odd rain here and there, kind of thing. We had an exceptional year this year. We got lucky with rain. It's even the things that didn't go so good. It's the great part of being an integrated farm here, where we have cattle and grain. So like our oats maybe didn't do so good this year because of a lack of moisture, but then we got some late season moisture after we had harvested them, and we got a whole bunch of second growth. And instead of going out, a lot of people need to do second growth control using, like a herbicide, using Roundup or a glyphosate or whatever. And we don't do that here. We've got most of our farmland is fenced, and we turn the cattle out on them. I had every single cow-calf pair that I have was on second growth oats for the last 6.5 weeks of our grazing season this year. So my pastures rest. We made use of what we didn't do the best off of on the grain farm, and it's just a perfect example of how the symbiotic relationship can exist between livestock and farming. I wouldn't want to be doing it any other way.
Yeah, by the way, Alberta Girl and Noob Try Again have both let me know that I fucked up the name of your truck and that it's Blue Balls, not
Blue Ball.
Big Blue.
Yeah, hey, thanks for watching, folks. I wasn't going to get in there.
Why didn't you got to correct me, man, or this whole thing will lose credibility. Evans,
listen, you got to let the live chat keep you honest, man.
Well, they do. They do. What's your pickup called again? The old one.
Okay, Marty. So it used to be Morty, which was a 94 Ford F-150 that I bought from Mortlack, and then it kind of exploded, and so I got a 1985 D-150 Ram from Martinsville that we call Marty.
I like that.
Yeah, he's hanging together so far, but it's wintertime here, so he might get parked just because I got to run the diesel closer and all this.
You got to run. You got to run your Tesla.
It's the logistics. I can't quite get away with a Tesla here, but I will tell you that the offer is still out for Ram Canada, that when they do come out with the Ram Charger, their PHEV, I'm all in. I will absolutely give that thing a spin.
What's the PHEV?
So it's basically the same kind of idea of what Edison Motors is doing, where you have a static running internal combustion engine that's actually running electric motor drives on your wheels. So it's a combination between your battery and the static drive generator. It's the exact same technology what they use to drive trains in our country and the US. It's your best horsepower for your buck, right? Probably going to be pretty expensive to fix, and I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of growing pains or whatever, but I mean, it's the best way to get the most torque out of the fuel you're burning, and I can't wait to get one to try.
Hey, right to repair surfaces a couple of times every year when we're talking about it. I know it's a huge issue on farms. Your whole posture just changed when I brought it up. Are you still, take us into this? I mean, the general idea is that generally speaking, farmers or folks in industry, right, that are inclined to want to turn their own wrenches, that understand how the machinery works, and they want to be able to work on it, are prevented in ways from being able to work on it by proprietary knowledge and the design of the machinery, right? And this has become kind of like a big fight. Does it touch down on your farm?
So, like, to a certain extent, yes. We run some newer equipment here, and there's a lot of stuff that only John Deere, maybe I shouldn't have name drop, but whatever it is, that only John Deere can do with their actual software that they have, and there's obviously proprietary things happening there. I actually have a family member, an older brother that worked for John Deere for 27 years, who's gone out on his own right now, and it's even presenting challenges for him to be able to get the right software to be able to tap into these machines, to be able to get in and fix what needs to be fixed, right? But we don't just see this in repairing things. A big thing that we're starting to see could be a problem in the future is your subscription services too, right?
Okay.
So when we're doing all of our variable rate mapping, when we're putting down VR fertilizer and we're running RTK lines and we're recording all of our crop data, it all goes into the mothership, right? And it costs you a user fee every year to be able to continue to use that software, and those user fees keep going higher and higher and higher.
Like off the top of your head, what would be a user fee approximately?
Oh, like depending on what it is, you could be looking up to $3,500 for a year.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere between $1,500 to $3,500. Some of them are $500. It kind of depends on the company and what it is.
Right.
And I can't let any cats out of the bag here right now, but I'm hopefully going to be partnering with a company actually just outside of Edmonton who's doing some pretty groundbreaking things with guidance systems and RTK lines that's offering a very affordable option and can plug and play with a lot of this stuff. So hopefully we can see more of those companies coming out and having some success and putting the squeeze on some of these bigger companies that try and keep you locked in jail, right?
Is it the YouTube channel and your reach, your considerable reach that has opened up the doors for those types of like partnership and collaboration type things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know best, Ryan. I mean, you guys do a great job of advertising for a lot of great companies out there and a lot of great organizations as well. And like social media is the new marketing, man. Like this is it. Whether we want to admit it or not, fewer and fewer people are watching TV where you used to pay for the big advertising, or listening to AM radio where you used to pay for the big advertising, right? I know a ton of older retired guys around here that just watch YouTube now, or that just scroll through TikTok or whatever. And companies need to get out in front of this, right? And yeah, especially with the ag industry, that's where a lot of companies want to try and partner up and get pre-roll on some of my videos and stuff, or maybe just use it in a video or give a review to it kind of thing. And I don't just jump on every opportunity
No.
because I don't want to take garbage to my followers. I want to make sure it works and that they're going to stand behind their product. And there's a lot of different things, obviously, that we need to check the boxes on.
Yeah.
But it's a great opportunity. And it can be a lucrative opportunity. You know, I don't make a ton of money off of YouTube itself, and you guys would know that, right? But
we make way less than you. I can guarantee you that much.
I'm going to say, like, your guys' live chat is impressive. Like, to anybody that's in the live chat right now, like you guys are helping Ryan and Johnny here do their thing, because like that's what helps YouTube promote a lot of this stuff to other listeners is the amount of interaction that's with it, right?
Yeah.
So, and you guys have a very interactive live chat, and it's awesome. Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and you're just growing a fantastic community of people here, and it's great to see. And I just love I love the fact that when I was watching your interview, by the way, congrats on having Danielle Smith and Justin Trudeau, Mark Carney. I mean, you guys have had some big fish in the sea on this podcast, and when I was watching it, I was like, I can't wait for Ryan to get roasted by half the people being like, "Why'd you keep lobbing her softballs?"
Oh yeah. Somebody yesterday called me a UCP fluffer, and I thought it's very strange, because I'm pretty sure if I showed up at the UCP AGM, not to say that I wouldn't receive a warm welcome from some people, but I'm pretty sure that I get booed by some as well. And I thought, is fluffer, does that mean what I think it means? And it definitely does. Yeah.
My big question is like, maybe some people are going to take fluffers thinking, well, like, what, do you work in a hotel and you toss the pillows around kind of thing? Or be like, no, not my knowledge of what a fluffer is.
No. Earmuffs, kids. Although, should we let people maybe Google it for themselves and they can make the discovery themselves?
We can. You know what? The live chat should.
A fluffer, the live chat will have it covered, but let's just say a fluffer plays a very important role traditionally in the adult film industry on set, to make sure that all actors are prepared to perform when they are required to perform. So this person,
the most politically correct definition of a fluffer I've ever heard, Ryan.
Thank you. Impressive. Thank you very much. By the way, Noob's wondering here in our live chat, powered by Park Power, your friendly local utilities provider, if you would consider doing a right to repair roundtable on Real Talk with Edison Motors and Louis Rossman. Louis Rossman, I think is a big YouTube creator, isn't he? I think that's.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know that I've been on a few podcasts with Chase Barber with Edison Motors, and those guys are dialed in. They're doing a great job out there, and obviously at the same time, like, explaining how they are trying to move things in the right direction.
Yeah.
And again, how government regulation can really stall or stonewall innovatorship here in Canada. They're doing some incredible things. They even had to work around some pretty crazy zoning things happening with where they wanted to try and build their operation, and a whole catalog of struggles that they had. And Chase is a really, really cool guy, and they're doing some really cool things out there. And I would absolutely get on a round table with those guys.
Yeah, we should get you. Although I've been telling you many times, we're really keen on getting you back here
in studio
into our historic Mercer Warehouse studio in downtown Edmonton. You've been in here. I'll let people know, but just to crush beers off camera, and many people have been delighted. I remember people leaning over being like, "Is that fucking Quick Dick McDick over there?" I'm like, "Sure is." Nobody knew you were like 6'4" either. That kind of surprised people.
What's that?
Nobody knew you were like 6'4" either. I think people were surprised, but that's why you got to get people in studio. Got to get people in person.
I'm taller and skinnier in real life, is what people always tell me.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the gig is there, what they were expecting. Maybe it's the coveralls kind of thing. But when we're doing lots of photo ops at ag shows and stuff, when the farm wives get their hands around me, they're like, "Oh, geez, I didn't think you were this skinny."
Yeah. I've never
Let's be honest, no farm wives want to take pictures with me. It's always their husbands.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you get the babe walking up and saying, "Can I get a picture? My husband's a big fan," and then she's just holding the camera for you.
Although one of the favorite jokes I do like to make is when you get one of these awkward old farmers getting next to you and you get a picture, you can be like, "There, you just took a dick pic in public."
That's very, very well done. Quick Dick McDick, our guest, in our feature interview presented by Mercedes-Benz Edmonton West. By the way, check this out. I'm showing it on my screen. Louis Rossman, 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and he talks a lot about right to repair here, but he's also, it looks to me like he's like a tech expert, basically. So he's talking about like camera jammers. He's giving people a heads up on fake electrical fuses that are being sold on Amazon. Customers or sellers on Amazon bribing customers for good reviews. Kind of strikes me as here he is testifying in Washington on a right to repair hearing. So this guy, obviously, I think you can call him a consumer advocate. He's not particularly been on my radar, but we say this to people all the time, and I appreciate your kind words about our live chat. I profess my love to this audience all the time, but I learned something in our live chat every single day, and so today we'll add Louis Rossman's name to the list.
Oh yeah,
very cool stuff. Hey, how was hunting? By the way, you've got a video. I'll let people know you got a video on your whitetail hunting adventures here.
Hey,
tell us what we're seeing on the screen.
This picture is shown here right now. Now shout out to Laird Whitetail Supplements, She Hosts Saskatchewan. These are 3 bucks that had been on camera all year long, and this is the day after hunting season. Yeah, so that's when hunting season closed. They all came back out. I didn't have a lot of time. You know what? Hey, I think I've said this before, but I bait. I bait and feed deer. It's legal to do here in Saskatchewan, and my theory behind the whole thing is I spend all summer feeding them with my crops, and I don't put out crop insurance claims on wildlife. I feed them, I bring them in, we bait them, I pick the one I want, and I take them. If I don't get the one I want or a clear shot at the one that I want, I don't take it. Because I believe in one-shot hunting and ethical hunting. If it comes in and I can get a clear shot at it and take them down with one shot, I'll take it. And if I can't, I hate seeing guys that do the run and gun, or with this elk hunting season that we had here in Saskatchewan, which basically turned this into an absolute war zone for a week. I just like going out, and if I can't get the deer, it's really cool to just sit there and watch the does interact with their fawns and other females that come in, and that's the guy right there that I was after this year, and he's still smarter than me. So congratulations to him. Yeah,
that's quite a rack.
Hey, listen, we like racks big here in Saskatchewan, and that's definitely one of them. He's, you know what? I've been watching him for 3 years, and he keeps coming back. But I don't stop after hunting season's done. And like a lot of experts will say, you're wrecking the deer's gut flora, and then they don't know how to scrounge for sustenance and make the winter. I put bales out at that place all winter.
Really?
So, and really, it's 1 bale a month is all they go through. And, it's like, if I'm going to feed them, then I'll feed them all year. You can't just feed them and then just shut it off after you don't get the one you get. That's not fair to the animal either. And I mean, there's probably people saying, well, it's not fair to use a camera and bait and a gun with a scope and everything on it. I hear that. But that being said, I have all the technological advances, and that deer's still smarter than me. So, that's part of being human, is we have technology and we're going to use it. Right.
What was your reference to the elk season this year? You said it was like a war zone. What happened?
Yeah, we've got an overpopulation of elk here, and it hasn't really been dealt with properly by the Ministry of Wildlife here in Saskatchewan for the last few years. And there's been a lot of crop insurance claims happening with it, especially a lot of guys that have standing corn that corn graze cattle through the winter. They've had elk herds coming in and wiping out their corn grazing that they had set aside for the cattle. And then last year, the Ministry of Wildlife actually did a study in our area to try and see exactly what the elk population was and what we could do with it, because we've always just had a draw season here. So you have an early draw season and a late draw season with a break in the middle for whitetail hunting. And they realized that the elk population was almost 3 times what they assumed that it was. And so obviously that gets expensive with crop insurance claims for anything that they do go in and wreck. And also it can turn into a disaster for the elk herd themselves, because then all of a sudden this is a breeding ground for TB and a bunch of different diseases that Mother Nature will take care of these elk if we don't, right? So they opened up a season here in Saskatchewan in the middle of whitetail season. So you got everybody that's out for their whitetail, and then you got a whole bunch of people that can all of a sudden go and buy an elk tag and just go hunt anywhere in Saskatchewan. Well, we've got some pretty strict trespassing laws that exist here in Saskatchewan now. So that added a little bit of a disaster. And then you have people hunting in droves. There were some reports of people in southern Saskatchewan that were running herds of elk for like 20 miles before they would start shooting at them. It's some of the grossest stuff that I've ever heard. And
20 miles?
Brutal. Absolutely. Yeah. And so, like, previous to what I said, I believe in ethical hunting, and I think this turned into something that's not that whatsoever. And I hope the ministry has a look at themselves, says, hey, how can we do this different and better next year? So first of all, we have a successful hunt that will actually help control this population, and obviously keep people safe and let people enjoy hunting instead of it being a disaster.
Man, oh man. This is like one of the million reasons why we love checking in with you. I love kind of just the way you roll and the way that I mean you're just doing your deal. There's a lot of like content creators. I know some people don't prefer the label, but it is what we do. We create content.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But they go out and do it for the purpose. Like, I don't know if you follow those Instagram accounts of like influencers in the wild. Have you ever seen these ones? Where it's like
it's painful, man.
It'd be like somebody like coming onto a farm. Somebody like me and like looking for the little stool so they can try to milk a cow for 30 seconds so they can do a reel on milking a cow. That's not what you do. You take people along on your real life stuff. And I think that that's why you've built such a huge audience. And I just think it's the best.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And like, honestly, when I talk to people in real life, they say it's just like, it just feels real when we watch it, And like, I just had a reel that I did. It was not a reel. It's just a video that I did a little while ago, a Facebook style video, horizontal, where I just walked through a cow calving from start to finish.
Yeah.
And like, it's amazing. It's a 5-minute video. And like, I don't even know where it's at right now, but I mean, it was one of my most successful videos. And all I do is just walk around and just show you it happening real time,
Well, because when else are people going to see it, man?
That's true, right? And I think it's just the more real you can be with what's happening. I don't set stuff up. I don't fake stuff happening. I just kind of show you what's happening. And sometimes I just flip the camera around when I got the GPS set, and I'll see something that pisses me off, and I'll give you $2 worth of my opinion, kind of thing. And some people might agree with me, some people might not, but all you ever get is my opinion. I'm always willing to change my opinion if I hear something different coming from somebody else. And I think that's why shows like yours are important, when you show both sides of an argument, or what's happening, or a lot of things that happen in inner city that I would never consider being out here on the farm. It changes your perspective on maybe some government policy too, right? So it's just, I just think we live in a cool time to be able to share opinions, and I wish people would dial the temperature down a little bit with some of them. But I mean, that's kind of the goal of the comedy show here is to go out and have fun. And we don't really talk much about politics at Live Comedy, but you'd be surprised how fast you can relate to people and how they grew up. You know what? You can get a crowd laughing even if you just want to talk about a teeter-totter, man.
Hey, man.
You can have fun.
A great communicator and a great comedian can get people laughing about absolutely anything.
100%.
And I'm not surprised to hear that your audience is growing across the country. Look at this, man. Look at these cute little guys. They're right. As I say that, it shows you. But I was just taking a look at your calving tour. Is that you got a stuffed lazy boy in the calving barn? This is where we're talking to you from right now, isn't it? Look at that. Does the chair have a name too?
No, by the time you get to that thing, you're not worried about naming anything. But yes, I broke all the rules of production here today. I've got high backlight, and I'm trying to block out the ceiling light with my head. But I mean, take what you can get sometimes. I've been a rule breaker for a long time when it comes to producing content. So.
Yeah, I'll let the audience know that when we were chatting with you about doing this, you said, would you be down with me doing it either from the calving barn or from the cab of a tractor? I said, either sounds amazing.
I was going to go with the tractor, but it was so cold that I had to have the defroster on high the whole time, and that's just way too much background noise. And then obviously I lost my earbuds halfway through this interview because I wasn't organized enough to have them charged. So here we are, right?
Well, nobody noticed, and nobody would have been able to tell, including us, had you not said anything. Buddy, it's always so good to see you. We wanted to make sure we got you in before the holiday break. Keep up the incredible work, obviously on your farm, but also on YouTube. We're proud to call you friends, and we look forward to welcoming you to the Real Talk studio here at Mercer Warehouse sometime in 2026.
Yeah, hey, same here, man. Congrats on 5 years to you guys, and keep doing what you do. I'll be up in that neck of the woods in February-ish.
Okay.
I think somewhere in there. We'll be in touch. But shout out to Johnny Infamous.
Hell yeah.
When I saw his picture on Instagram, I can't remember where you guys were, but I made a comment on it, and I was like, that look right there got blue steel vibes.
Oh, that was at Lauren McDavid's bar.
Oh man, I saw the two of you there, and I was like,
I know what you're talking about.
You guys could almost do a movie together.
Yeah, we're about to do another one in tuxedos this Friday.
Yeah, this Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thanks for all the work in the background, Johnny, and man, the studio and cutting things back and forth in the shorts. I know the amount of work you guys put into this, and it shows. So keep killing it, you guys. And I'm gonna go get back in the tractor and bed some cattle.
You're a beauty, Quick Dick. We'll talk to you later. That's Quick Dick McDick. Whether he acknowledges it or not, he is one of Canada's most watched YouTube content creators. Let me see if I can find. Here's that photo. Let's get to the photo here.
What
this
are you
was
talking about?
This was show my Instagram for a second. This was
that's not
the one. Yeah, it is. This is Camp for a Cause.
No, he meant the one of me and you.
Oh yeah, exactly, buddy. This is what I'm doing. I'm scrolling through all my
Oh.
photos. I'm creating a moment here on the show. But here is, and I'm going to zoom in on it as soon as look at Johnny Infamous in this photo. What an
I look
absolute
a little
dreamboat.
Let's zoom out. I look a little inebriated.
You want to zoom back out?
Yeah, it's better farther. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And you and I have a big weekend coming up. Our friends, people will remember, longtime supporters here of the show, Apex Automation, is bringing back Johnny and I for their holiday party this year, which I'm looking forward to. They're bringing in casino dealers for their party.
Yeah,
so
it's a
we're
whole-
going
you
to
know
have to
what?
watch ourselves on that one.
And I'm not a slacker, Ryan, but it's just, I don't know. Christmas parties, let me say this, not all Christmas parties, they're kind of not like, they're not like in the movies where everyone's like raging and everything, especially when they're corporate or like think about it. Like a lot of people love and like the people they work with, but I don't know if they want to like spend 6 or 7 hours with them.
With their coworkers.
And then like later in the night, especially like a lot of people, they come, they do the cocktail, they stay for dinner, the speeches, a couple prizes, and then they're out. Right.
Yeah.
But when you add in extracurricular activities, when you add in fun games, when you add in casino, when you add in photo booths and money tunnels, it keeps people around.
Money tunnels.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're having a money tunnel this Friday.
They are?
I saw it on the site.
This
map.
is the thing where you go in the
Got a money
tube and then
tunnel.
the
and
air
you grab as much cash
and
as
it's
you can.
real
You got like
cash
8
in there?
seconds or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So
what's
all-
your
all of
strategy in
that
a money
adds-
tunnel? What's your strategy?
My strategy?
I think you got to open your shirt and have the cash fly up you got to put your chin
That's
down.
what people try to do. I do kind of a like figure skater twirl, and I just kind of grab everything in. But I think it's all up to chance. You've been in one of those. It's pretty hard.
The money
like there's
tunnels
a
are-
reason.
they're very hard.
It's difficult, right?
But you
Like-
learn something about it. It's what is like the bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. The idea that like you can get your hands on some cash in there, but then the minute you try to get more, you release
rest-
the stuff you had, and then your time's up.
Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, I want to thank Peter's Chance in our live chat, who is congratulating me personally on my fluffer definition. I thought that I rode that line very carefully. Lauren says it can be hard to describe a fluffer. And Cactus Sheriff says everybody needs to Google fluffer on their work computer as soon as Real Talk ends. I would say once we break for the holidays, just in case the firewall issues that you encounter get you all shut down. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny that I was a UCP fluffer. We laugh about this on the show. I never take it personally, and quite frankly, I don't care. But there's a lot of people that thought, that think, for example, when Danielle Smith's on, that I'm way too easy on her. And then, of course, her biggest supporters think, God, Jasperson, the NDP plant is way too hard, nothing critical, no recognition of whatever. Guys, if you know Real Talk, we are the straight shot right down the middle. It doesn't mean we don't have opinions, and it doesn't mean that we can't ask tough questions, but we approach things like normally, talking to people normally, and with professionalism. And that's what we endeavor to do every single time. Now, my Jasper Memories every single Wednesday. We might as well kick this off, Johnny, if you want to get our Real Talk studio band to go ahead with the background music. Thanks, guys. We keep them off camera. They prefer their privacy. But, every Wednesday, courtesy of our friends at Tourism Jasper, we share with you the memories that lie in wait, some of the opportunities and adventures that are out there in Jasper National Park. Of course, this is a wonderful and magnificent time of year to get out to Jasper. The fireplaces are crackling, the snow is falling, Marmot Basin is wide open. Cabin country is looking spectacular. But John, this is a special twist. This is a special edition of My Jasper Memories. Before we get into that, I have not told you about this. Typically, a show's producer would be aware of what is about to unfold in a segment, but I did not want to ruin it. I did not want to tell you.
Well,
so you got to bring me back on camera. Now, I know you have some sense of what's about to happen here.
Well, I have the picture, so
okay. So bring me back for a second. So you and I were talking. What was this, like a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
And we were talking about who has the best old fashioned in the Rockies, right? And it's not a definitive answer. I mean, everyone will have their own opinions. But as we were talking about this, the team at Maligne Range, which is the newest distillery, it's a distillery in Jasper. It's one of Alberta's newest. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. Their opening was delayed by the Jasper wildfire. Literally, guys, if you can imagine this, opening day was slated for the fire day. It was like the 24th of July last summer. Crazy. Now, thankfully, the location was not among those lost in the fire, but they had to wait to open. And now that they are, people are buzzing. A lot of people are talking about it. The decor in there is incredible. The menu's incredible. I'm kind of professing my love for it right now. You can check them out online, by the way. I'll show their website, themalinerange.com. This is Canadian-inspired whiskey and dining in the heart of Jasper. I've been there, I think, since they opened now every single time that I'm in Jasper because it's absolutely beautiful. Well, here's my point. They were listening when we were talking or musing about where the best old-fashioned in the Rockies is. And would you look at what they sent us, John? And I can show it on camera here, or you can just show the photo that we snapped. This is the Maligne Range and their maple old-fashioned. Check this out. Now, this is a ready-to-serve, smooth, rich, bold whiskey cocktail.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have pre-batched this. Why are you chuckling?
Because I'm trying to act surprised here. But I had this photo, which
I know, I had to send it along. I had to give you a bit of a heads up. So they pass this, they send this to us at our Mercer Warehouse studio, and they say, Ryan and Johnny, please enjoy a bottle of our old-fashioned. They say, we love a good challenge.
Uh-oh.
And they say, consider the bar set.
I'm telling you this right now.
So they're not afraid to make bold claims.
We will give you the straight goods. Because,
okay, well, we're going to right now.
You know, like, you give me 3 glasses of wine. You know how people, like, they smell it, they roll it in their mouths. They're like, oh, oak and you know, I smell a bit of citrus. I don't know any of that. But one thing I know is bourbon, whiskey, and old fashions. That's the only thing I know. The second it touches my lips, rolls around, gets under my tongue, down my throat, I can give you a star rating. Out of 5, I can give you a out of 10. That's
okay.
better.
Well,
because I like giving points, like 6.8, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have no doubt that this is delicious.
Well, let's find out. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to.
Right now?
Are you kidding me? Look at what I have here. I'm going back to my.
God.
I'm going back to my breakfast
Real
television
talkers.
days. Well, come on.
Real talkers, look at this.
I'm going back to the days of you guys. What, you think I'm new here?
It's like you pulled it. Okay, that is a surprise. This is a surprise.
Well, I'm glad that the surprise worked. And for 7 years, I hosted morning television where we would do cooking segments every single day, and so I'm familiar with the art.
Did you just pull like a napkin off of that, and it was just like magic?
It's ready to go.
Let's go.
So here, acknowledging the fact that it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So I thought we would try this out. So, and by the way, shout out to the Maligne Range for actually also providing us with this stunning glassware. These are the glasses that they serve in their lounge. A healthy pour. So this is the, I don't know if they say pre-batched. I don't know if they like that, but this is the ready-to-serve maple old-fashioned.
Is that the official lingo?
I'm going to do this. Well, yeah, I just want to read what it says on their bottle. So this is their ready-to-serve whiskey cocktail. Smooth, rich, and bold. The Maligne Range maple old-fashioned, by the way. I'm going to garnish this with, we've got dehydrated orange wedges, orange slices here. And, of course, with an Italian cherry. Just to sort of really, oh, look at how sticky that is. That's absolutely.
I love the sticky ones.
Oh, my gosh. This is no fluffer jokes in the live chat, everybody. Okay.
Wow.
Take the wide shot and I'll deliver
Come
it to
on
you.
over. Come on over.
So
we are, you know, self-proclaimed old-fashioned connoisseurs, myself and Ryan. I believe, and it's not just the name, it is the best plain bare bones drink that you can just have a sip of.
There's a reason why they've been around for like 100 years.
We go to restaurants, we go to bars, and you immediately know the first sip, and you look over at the bartender and you give him that nod like, that's right. And it's not necessarily that it has to be exceptional. It just has to be done right.
To you?
Let's do it.
To the Maligne Range. Let's see. First sip. We're going to give you our honest take on it. Johnny, keep the camera on you. I want to see your reaction.
I'm going to go wide so we both.
The wide shot.
Ready?
Yeah, okay.
1, 2.
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yep.
I'm going to give that an 8.7, and that's high.
Because you're
I
not a,
rarely go
you're
above
not a,
9.
You're
I rarely
you're
go
not
above
a 10
9.
out of 10 guy. You're like Dave Portnoy in the pizza.
Rarely.
You're not.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
Yeah. Were you really?
This is. I'm going to say right now, this is the best ready-to-serve style old-fashioned I've ever had because I don't like a lot of them. I don't know if you tried them. But I did like, and I'll give them a shout-out too. No, I'll do it after this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's just focus on this.
This
is really good.
Yeah.
This is very good.
Fantastic stuff. I absolutely 100% recommend this.
Do you have to go to Jasper to get it?
That's a great question. I mean, we're just new to this. This was not, I'm going to be honest with you, this was not on my radar until they sent it to us because I didn't know they were doing the ready-to-serve stuff, but this is a huge market now, right? These ready-to-serve cocktails. So I would imagine, I would say this, and this is the only information that we have from the team at the Maligne Range, is simply that they are confident that they love a good challenge and consider the bar set. So they're confident this is the best old-fashioned in the Rockies. It rolls.
I'm upping. I'm going to 8.9 from the third sip. This is...
Wow.
Ready-to-make cocktails are very hard to get right.
By the time that he's had 6 of them, this is going to be a perfect 10.
It's perfect. It's 11. It's 11.
Wendy says, cheers. Oh, it's Wendy Hall who says cheers in our live chat. Wendy is a town counselor in Jasper, and of course Wendy is a part of the team at the Maligne Range. Oh, she can just let us know right now. Wendy, let us know in the chat. Can we buy this anywhere else?
Or is it just Jasper?
Or can you just buy it at the Maligne Range? I would say this. You don't pop into the Maligne Range for 2 seconds. It's a beautiful place. The menu's incredible.
You don't just drive up from Edmonton for a...
Why not?
I might.
Well, I mean,
if I have to go there for this, I might actually...
Right? Rip out for a day on the slopes or 2 at Marmot.
Grab a case and come back.
Swing in, have dinner at the Maligne Range. Take a couple of these ready-to-drink old-fashions home with you. Perfect stocking stuffers. They're the Mickey size. Yeah. I like the glass. And I like that they don't... I know they're not going to do it because they're classy as all heck. I mean, these glasses are stunning. Sure. This feels kind of like an ice wall. It almost is like a glacier glass. It's super cool. But they're not about to do the plastic Mickeys, right? I think listen to that sound. For those of you what is it, AMDR? What is it, the sound effect, folks?
Well, I know a lot of people are going to be listening to this on their drive home, and it's just going to... Don't hit the gas pedal too hard. I know you're going to get home for that nightcap, but... Okay, so Wendy says, don't you love how this live chat works? Wendy says, not yet. There you go.
She says you can only buy it in the restaurant right now. It's right on the main drag
Create
in
demand.
Jasper. And she says, but we can ship it.
There you go.
So you can check out their website. That's themalinerange.com. This is really good, man. I'm not just saying this.
I'm not saying that.
And you are right. Some of these ready-to-drinks, these pre-batched cocktails,
they're okay.
While some of them are not good at all.
But I'm saying the majority of them
really good.
are just so-so. They're you're in a quick fix, or maybe someone who doesn't know how to make cocktails, or you don't want to go out and buy bitters, cherry, all the things. You just want to pour it into a glass with ice. But this is by far. Look, we've run out of our music. This is the first time we
haven't even got to the real part of my Jasper Memories yet. This is just the fun part.
Let's talk about the other stuff.
This is just the fun part. Scarlett, by the way, is in our live chat. She says, "Where was the comment? A bunch of you just lit up when we started talking old fashions. I'm loving the sound of that big ice cube against the glass.
It's the ASMR.
Yeah, is that what they say? ASMR? Yeah, right. This is where they're like, right, the sound effects. Do you want to come to Jasper now? It's a real thing. I went down a rabbit hole of ASMR. Is it ASMR? Is that what I'm thinking of? The right thing? And yeah, it is ASMR. This Instagram channel. This gal is doing rainstorm noises and things like that.
I saw the rainstorm one. That's going viral right now.
Smokes,
she puts a tinfoil thing over a napkin.
Yes.
And puts certs in there with water.
Yes.
And then rubs it.
And it sounds like a rainstorm.
Exactly
anyway,
like a thunderstorm.
We're obviously way off track right now. You guys get a sense of what it's like to work in here when the cameras are turned off. I haven't even read Scarlett's comment yet. She says her son worked at the Maligne Range. She says it's an absolutely lovely restaurant. Ken K says, I am definitely trying that. He goes on to say, by the way, to solve the question, Ken says, I make the best old-fashioned in the Rockies. Ken, I like your confidence. Cactus Sheriff says, this is classic real talk, boozing before 10 a.m. I mean, you guys, this is work. Johnny and I are doing the heavy lifting so you guys can have a legitimate review on the quality of the ready-to-drink maple old-fashoned from the Maligne Range.
We do this for a living.
We do it for a living. While we're talking about Jasper, can I also point? I want to share this video. This was a video of our family, and this meant the world to us to be able to work with the team at Tourism Jasper on this a while ago. But check this out. So this was a while ago. You remember this?
Great, yeah.
And so we were out. This is on Lake Mildred at the Jasper Park Lodge, and I wanted to talk to you about skating today, just because I know a lot of you are maybe considering. You may have your Christmas plans or your holiday plans, but maybe you're thinking about what you're going to be doing for New Year's or into the new year, or maybe even, when the kids have spring break, something like that. So Carrie and Wyatt and I were lucky enough to be out at Mildred Lake at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. It's pretty famous for its rustic elegance and its cozy luxury. Is that a fair assessment of the JPL? 700 acres, this property. It's just like a 10-minute drive from town. It's actually probably closer to 5, and boasting multiple attractions. But every time we're out there, when the lake is frozen over, you better believe that Carrie, a retired competitive figure skater, and me, a beer leaguer, are going to get out there. Of course, we spent some time as well at Marmot Basin, had a wonderful time. But there's nothing like skating on Mildred Lake. And you can actually, even if you don't have your own skates, you can rent some. They've got hockey helmets, hockey sticks, pucks. And if you do have your own skates, but you need to sharpen, they can hook you up there as well. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of opportunity there at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. Also at Pyramid Lake, I want to make sure that that's on your radar too. Pyramid Lake, a 10-minute drive north of downtown Jasper, jaw-dropping views of Pyramid Mountain. I'm showing it to you right now at jasper.travel, and we'll link to this in the show notes. Look at that photo Johnny's showing. Let's go back to the photo you just had.
This is the one I grabbed today that I was just like, I mean, if
the color of that mountain.
If you know nothing about social media and you see all these influencers and you're like, I want a moment like that.
Yes.
Just go out there and take a picture or a reel or a story, because the background does it for you.
It's wild. Like, look at it. That's Pyramid Mountain. You grabbed like the best photo you can imagine, but it's got almost this like copper tinge to it. You can see the pyramid jumps out from all the other mountains. And at Pyramid Lake, the Pyramid Lake Resort, they've also got rentals. They've got a lot of other winter sport gear too. If you want to try like fat biking in the winter, Johnny, which is a cool way to do it, or snowshoeing around the lake.
Ooh, snowshoeing. No matter how many people say it's not fun, they probably haven't tried it. It is fun. Look at these guys having fun.
Having an absolute blast out there. Plus, they've got the sleigh rides, the horse-drawn sleigh on the lake. And then the Pines Restaurant, which is a perfect place at Pyramid Lake if you want to grab dinner after. And then don't forget, of course, as well, that you've got, glacier-fed, groomed ice here, which is what we're talking about. Like they're sweeping it, they're keeping it clean for you. So you're out there. This is like, in my mind, you talk about the ODR, like the outdoor rink.
Yeah.
Jasper's home to like arguably the two most beautiful surfaces in the world.
Incredible.
If you're into outdoor skating.
Get out there. Get your Oilers jersey on. Get going.
Yeah, or Flames.
Hey,
we don't.
I guess it is kind
of. We don't discriminate. We welcome all.
Well,
to
we
Jasper.
do, but we'll keep it to ourselves.
No Leafs jerseys, please.
Whoa!
Heyo!
Canucks.
I mean, sure. The Canucks fans are about to have their Christmas ruined with a Quinn Hughes trade.
We're trying to build a relationship with BC right now.
That's right.
Alberta, BC. We're friends.
You can plan your Jasper getaway. This has turned into like a 15-minute feature, but only because we're having so much fun with it, courtesy of our friends at the Maligne Range. Shout out to, of course, Pyramid Lake Resort. Shout out to the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge, and shout out to our friends at Tourism Jasper. A reminder, there is a limited time hotel offer right now, so it's a great time to plan your family getaway. You can receive up to $175 in prepaid gift cards. You're going to get paid back, basically, when you book your stay through Tourism Jasper. It's right there on the homepage at jasper.travel. My Jasper Memories is proudly presented by Tourism Jasper, Wednesdays, right here on Real Talk.
Okay.
Cactus Sheriff says a maple old-fashioned cannot be beat. You already need a refill? Is that it?
It's a 9.2 now. It's a 9.2.
Oh, my gosh. It's not going to be long till that's a perfect 10. I like that.
That's really good.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of comments here on folks submitting their own thoughts on the best winter cocktail. Aaron says, I love old fashions. You guys suck. Yeah. And Aaron, I get it. But were you here? If we had a live studio audience, we could be pouring these for everybody. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I see a few stragglers. I can see through the green room. Because we have a TV outside.
Yeah,
I don't know if people know.
We need to get
right
a camera
outside
out
this
there.
door is like
There's
a
bunch
lounge.
of people out there all the time.
Yeah, and not lounge, but there's like 4 chairs and stools and everything. And every time we have a show with like treats or savory, or sweet tastings of any kind, I always come out at the end of the show and they're like sitting there like, hey.
What are you guys getting into?
Can we rate those?
Well, because it's a little bit different when you're working in media, because the lines are blurred. Like right now, guys, like I wish that I didn't have to be enjoying a maple old fashioned this early in the day. But I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, and those of you who don't know, Ryan at one time was in the top 10 bartenders here in the province.
Well, thanks, John.
No, I would rate him that, and I often try to mess with Ryan and get him to do complicated. I'm like,
you want whiskey sours?
Can I get a mint julep today,
juleps.
Ryan? Could you get out the muddler?
I'd be curious to
Can
know
you
if
muddle something for me.
I'd be curious to know if there are any like former bar patrons of mine down in Calgary, because we had our regulars that are now regular listeners to Real Talk, and what a mind warp that might be for them, because that's a span of about 25 years. You never know. If you put it out into the universe, it's a small world, and you never know who you're going to hear from.
I think an old-fashioned is good year-round, but for the holidays, I mean, I think just adding a little sauce, a little Baileys to anything, right? A hot chocolate, an eggnog with rum, and then I add a touch of Baileys too. That's kind of my flavoring, but I'll be interested. Oh, now I'm watching Bailey's and orange whiskey slaps, says Cactus Sheriff. That is a good drink for the holidays.
Ken says we are trained professionals. Do not try this at home. That is absolutely 100% true. Plus, it's worth noting that, neither of us are going home anytime soon.
And Bustin says homemade Bailey's. What are you? You got the bathtub distillery going on,
No, we got the Hanson Distillery stuff going on. We can give them a shout out as well. I don't know if you guys. So we've got some of the. We got the gingerbread coffee cream. You want to go grab it right now? So we've got, we got a lot going on here right now, you guys. Like once the holiday season hits, this is another good reminder, by the way, of what we have coming up on the 23rd. You're going to put it right there on the table. Yeah, this is Johnny's showing off. These are the Hanson holiday spirits, and some of these you got the. What's this one officially? The mint chocolate cream liqueur.
Gingerbread.
And then this one it's called Brewed and Boozy, which is their coffee liqueur. And then you've got the gingerbread cookie cream liqueur. You can get all 3 of them at hansondistillery.com, or you can pop into the distillery. I always recommend people pop in. Like I popped in there a couple of days ago. Obviously, we're partnering with them, and so I'm in that distillery from time to time. And you go in there, and there's the master distiller.
Boom.
Just hanging out.
There.
You got a few questions. I'm asking him questions about it. I'm just curious. I'm learning. He's got his big Johnny Cash artwork up in there, and he's like, nobody cares more than the people that are creating. Listen to Quick Dick talking about his farming, right? Like you talk to somebody that is creating something. They're producing it. They're the ones that are doing the work, and you're going to get such a cool firsthand perspective. It's why we always recommend, if you're going to go buy Bailey's, support local.
Well, I was just saying Bailey's in terms of like any kind of liqueur.
Well, I'm not cracking on you.
No, but I'm just saying the great thing about Hanson is with the lineup there, because parents, they're the ones Christmas Eve, Christmas morning doing all the hard work. They need a little help
100%
in their cup that evening and that morning, and Hanson has a great lineup here to just kind of switch it up so it's not the same flavor all the time.
Yeah. Also, shout out to those of you that aren't drinking right now. We support you too.
Hey.
I want to give a shout out to my buddy Jack, and I've seen him. Jack just posted on Facebook. He's been taking us on his sobriety journey. Jack and I used to work together. I won't say too much about him. I don't know if he wants his story to be that public.
Sure.
Although he is putting it on Facebook, but Jack and I worked together back in the day in TV. I never perceived him to have a problem per se, but people navigate life in their own different ways, whatever. I guess it was like 11 and a half months ago he hit rock bottom, had a really tough go, and started his sobriety journey. And yesterday, it was just yesterday, I think, he posted his 11-month coin.
Wow.
So he's getting
That's incredible.
almost to a year, and I'm so proud of him. So I want to shout out everybody this year as well. We're talking, real talk, guys, real talk. We're talking a lot about booze. We have booze sponsors. Johnny and I obviously both work in entertainment. We host late nights, this sort of thing. It is a part of our life. I also recognize that many people that are close to me do not drink at all. For a lot of you, drinking is a problem, and I want to shout out those of you this year as well, because holiday season
I was just going to
can
say
be a
that.
really tough season if you're not drinking. It's a tough season if you've lost someone you love. It's a tough season season, if you've lost your job, then we shout you out as well.
Yeah, my partner doesn't drink, but she loves mocktails, and she loves adding a little something to her hot chocolate or whatever that kind of reminds her of that time when she did, and she's dealing with loss as well, and the holidays suck for her. So, but shout out to everyone who does it, because especially around the holidays, it is hard to not, get a little whiskey on your breath and stuff like that. And if you have friends who do it, like I probably won't be drinking around the holidays just because,
Yeah, you're on a bit of a
you try to
health
support your
kick,
friends who aren't on it anymore, right?
Yeah.
And we should all try to do that as well. But shout out to, because we've talked about all these great places that we support that are alcohol, but shout out to all the industries that are also doing the mocktail thing. Like, you go to restaurants now and there's pretty much a whole mocktail section, right? For those people.
Yeah. And we've been there. There's this really neat place in Edmonton, and Carrie and I went there on a date night. Spilt. So if you check out spilt.ca, spilt.ca, we worked with them when I was hosting Silver Bell Soiree a couple of Fridays ago, was it? Maybe one Friday ago. There's been a lot of holiday stuff happening. This was in support of the University Hospital Foundation. So Spilt was there doing a mocktail bar as part of the event, and did just a wonderful job. And one of the best dates that Carrie and I went on in the past year, if you're looking for a date idea for somebody in your life, again, this is an Edmonton reference. I'm sure that Calgary, I'm sure that other places in Canada have options too. But if you check out spilt.ca, spilt.ca, you can actually, they do like a mocktail bartending class.
I need to take this.
There's like 12 people in there, maybe 14 people in there, like 7 couples kind of idea. You could do it with a friend. It doesn't have to be a loved one type idea. And we went in there. They teach you how to do the mocktails, how to make them.
Sure.
And then you sit and enjoy them. And I think we made 3 or 4 through the night.
I need to do this because I have so many straight edge. I'm probably aging myself here, but I call them straight edge. That's what we did in the late 90s.
Shout out to Biff Naked.
Late 90s, early 2000s, you go to a bar and they literally put a huge X on their hand to show that they don't drink, they're not going to drink, don't ask them for drinks kind of thing. But I have so many friends now who have not even gone through alcoholism. They've just come to a point in their life where that isn't their bag anymore. And it's becoming more evident in younger people as well. As a DJ, when I go out places and events now, there are whole sections for like mocktails or people who don't drink. Like, it's a whole movement now. Kids are not drinking as much.
Kids aren't drinking as much.
I don't want to say kids because that entails that they're underage.
Everyone gets what you mean.
Plus 18 to 25s. They're drinking less.
Ryan Bolin in our live chat says, I hate you right now, Jespo. Ryan, you're going to hate me even. Well, I mean, Ryan's just having some fun with it because I know it sounds to me like he could probably use one himself. Ryan, if I haven't said it on the show already, congratulations on your election as a Catholic school trustee in Central Alberta. Good on you and good on your involvement. Others of you are just talking about your favorite drink. A lot of votes for mulled wine right now. And like you said, Ambustion there with the homemade Baileys. My sister-in-law makes her homemade coffee cream type thing. But it is perishable, so it's kind of funny. Like with this stuff from Hansen, it's going to last, right? Like it's proper. You should rephrase in case my sister-in-law hears me, because what she makes is phenomenal. But I didn't realize it goes back. It's got a best before. Which is also music to my ears because you got to crush it, right?
Better clean this up.
Yeah. Noob is saying a shout out to the Winterval. Johnny was DJing there, says that our friends at Bird Dog have the best hot chocolate. What's the secret of their hot chocolate?
Well, after all of this, and I was saying it, they add a little Baileys. Yeah. And we also saw a bunch of sponsors walk down and just, I think that's the great thing about winter. Like, I just love being outside. Like, I was talking to a friend the other day and they were like, oh, I hate the cold. I hate the traffic. I'm like, I love the cold. I love snowboarding. I love having hot chocolate outside. I love when people have winter festivals. Yeah. And Alberta, I've lived in BC. I've lived in Ontario. Alberta has some of the best winter festivals I've ever seen.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're incredible.
This is great from Scarlett, who's saying, what you guys are talking about. She says, this is why I participate in Dry January every single year. And then she says, until the Edmonton Chamber Ball. Scarlett, I like that. And it's funny you should mention that, friends, because if you check out edmontonchamber.com right now, I was just meeting with the team yesterday, as a matter of fact. Planning is, it's well underway. Obviously, they've been planning this for a long time. I can't tell you how excited I am to be returning as host of the Edmonton Chamber Ball. This is coming up in January. Go to edmontonchamber.com, click on events, and that's where you can scroll down The calendar, you'll find January 24th. There it is at the Edmonton Convention Center. This is the black tie business event of the year. Nothing else even comes close. Join us for an unforgettable evening celebrating 137 years of serving Edmonton's business community. You're doing the math right now. You're going, wait, is the Edmonton Chamber older than Alberta? As a matter of fact, yes, it is. And Chamber Ball, if you've been there, you know. If you haven't, let me tell you, it will sell out. And if you do business anywhere in the province of Alberta, you got to be there. 5-course dining, premium bar service, live entertainment, dancing, and me up on stage. From humble beginnings to today's dynamic business landscape, the Edmonton Chamber has never wavered in its commitment to serve you. And this is their way of saying thank you. Hey, Johnny, can you grab me that photo from Touring Zebra? You know the one I'm talking about? You got that bottle right there by the fireplace. Got this from Touring Zebra. Just the other day, he says, Jespo, as I live a couple of hours from the city, I don't often get into Edmonton with enough time or during the right time to check out Hanson Distillery. Says, but today I did. And they still had a couple bottles left of Whiskey Rose. This is that 3-year whiskey. The whole barrel donated by Hanson Distillery to the YWCA of Edmonton, and all the proceeds of each bottle, $100 a bottle, so that's $20,000, is going toward the YWCA's Rose campaign. Touring Zebra says, I picked up a bottle and here I am trying some by the fire. Shout out to you, Touring Zebra, and boy, do we ever appreciate you. The email went on to say that while Touring Zebra was in the Metro Edmonton region, they said, between your sponsors tempting me with whiskey and sourdough cinnamon buns, I'm going to have to get some more exercise. It sounds like Touring Zebra also made a stop at Friesen Brothers when they were in Edmonton. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Nothing beats the sourdough cinnamon buns at Friesen Brothers. Don't forget, if you're looking to take some time out of the kitchen, spend more time with loved ones this holiday season, you can order your signature Christmas meal today at cateringbyfriesen.com. There's a ton of different options, including vegan options. Let Catering by Friesen Brothers handle your Christmas dinner while you enjoy the magic of the holidays with your family and friends. There's a stress-free holiday meal for 6 for just $229. This is everything you need for a delicious feast, including roasted turkey, scalloped potatoes, creamy dill carrots, those will blow your damn mind, granny stuffing, Caesar salad, tray buns, cranberry sauce, turkey gravy, and apple crumble pie. $229 to feed 6 people. A ton of different options you can check out today at cateringbyfriesen.com. I had a real talker by the name of Laura walk up to me just yesterday in the lobby of the Fairmont Hotel McDonald. Johnny, how's that for specifics? And she said, Jespo, I heard you say something on the show. And she says, I'm doing exactly what you suggested. Why am I saying this right now?
I don't know.
I'm blowing her Christmas surprise.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to do it. Her name was Landy. Everybody. What am I doing right now? I hope her husband doesn't listen to Real Talk. She said, you mentioned to me. She says, you mentioned that California Closets does custom garages. She says, I'm taking my husband out for lunch. She says, we're going to go for a wonderful lunch together. We're going to have a couple of glasses of wine. She says, and then we've requested, or she has requested, a free consultation with the team at California Closets. You know what she's going to do? You know what Landy, not Laura, Landy's going to be doing with her husband? She's taking him out for lunch. She's going to drive him to California Closets showroom, and they're going to design a dream garage for his Christmas gift. How cool is that? California Closets has you covered. If you're shopping for the most important person in your life, but they have everything, but maybe it's all piled up on the floor and disorganized, why not take them out on a consultation date with a designer at California Closets? It's a Canadian-owned company. They manufacture the installations in Alberta. Everything's guaranteed for life, and they can work with any budget. Do I need to say anything more? Maybe the fact that my wife and I are customers and we absolutely love it. 8 years later, it still looks as good as the day it went in. You can request that free consultation today at californiaclosets.ca. For those of you looking to make an impact on the giving front this holiday season, please check out givetoroyalalex.org. That's where you can get your hands on their limited edition history book, The Alex. It's on sale for the holidays. This is a beautiful, it's just comprehensive. 125 years of history. This is really incredible. Now, we're raising support for the next 125 years at the Royal Alexandra, and a big part of that is this book sale fundraiser. If you visit the main atrium at the Royal Alexandra Hospital in central Edmonton, all the way through till this Friday, December 12th at 3 p.m., so they're open from noon to 3 every day this week. You can have your copy of that book gift wrapped for free. Maybe you know somebody whose life was saved at the Royal Alexandra. Maybe this is a gift to maybe one of your children who was born there at the Royal Alex. Kind of a Christmas gift that they can keep with them for the next number of decades. The Royal Alex has made an impact in countless lives through that century and a quarter. These are the echoes of the Alex, which we feature every Tuesday here on Real Talk. You can tell us your family's story to talk at ryanjesperson.com. And don't forget, you can always check out royalalex.org for more. Next episode of the show, in addition to Alberta's opposition leader, Naheed Nenshi, joining us, we will also feature another edition of Alberta Wins. These are stories of Albertans making an impact on the national or international stage. And it's all presented by Play Alberta, with casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays right here in our home province of Alberta. There's never been a better time to sign up at playalberta.ca. Right now, Real Talkers can score a $50 casino bonus when they make a minimum $50 deposit with the code Ryan50. All one word, Ryan50. That's Ryan50 for a $50 casino bonus at playalberta.ca or on the Play Alberta app. You must be 18 or over to play. And if you do gamble, please use your game sense. Your eyes lit up when I was talking about that Whiskey Rose bottle. We're getting, I think, reports from Real Talkers across our social media platforms and in our community chat on Discord.
Reports are coming in.
We? Reports are coming in. What do we have today, John?
Well, we've got a number of people buying bottles of Whiskey Rose. And while they're there, do you want me to show it?
Yeah, sure.
They're also purchasing that bottle that we have on the table once a week.
Oh, look at that.
And the bottle we have, strangely enough, I wasn't aware it was so special.
Oh, man.
Of Northern Eyes Whiskey by
This is
Hanson
the first
Distillery.
ever 7-year aged whiskey to come out of Edmonton ever.
Brian didn't tell me this. And I was like looking at the bottle. I'm like, it's crazy that you just have like this distillery's franchise first bottle.
Well, it's bottle 01. It's hand numbered.
The
It's
one.
the first bottle.
And you know, we just had a party with like 400 people in here. Somebody could have grabbed it, cracked it open. It's just wild. So now we have it in a locked, secure case. And it's handcuffed to
Well, it
Ryan's
doesn't-
leg at the table. You can't see it.
Yeah, to be clear, it does not. The bottle does not belong to us. The
But,
bottle
like,
belongs to the
That's
distillery owner.
That's a very special bottle.
But it's on display here in the studio. It is literally bottle one. And one of the cool things, I know this sounds like a big commercial. It's not. We're just telling you. I mean, especially if you're looking for holiday gift ideas. And this bottle is under $100, by the way, which I think is wild.
Incredible.
You can get it at Hanson Distillery, or you can order it off their website, hansondistillery.com. But it's the first ever 7-year aged whiskey ever to come out of Edmonton, and there's only 400 bottles of it. So once it's sold out, like Hanson had this plan like 7 years ago when they barreled that whiskey, right? But the distilling obviously takes time. You can't fast forward the aging process, right? And so who was that? Was that Ryan Vaughn in our Discord? Yeah. Our Discord, by the way, is for our Real Talk, the Real Deal and Real VIP YouTube channel members and our Patreon members. It's where basically the live chat goes 24 hours a day.
But he went to support, YMCA.
So he went to support the YWCA.
WCA,
the YWCA with the Whiskey Rose, and ended up walking out with a 7-year bottle too. So Ryan, thank you so much for your incredible support.
Do they all have numbers?
Yeah, every bottle's hand numbered.
Okay, I got to zoom in here. But
from 1 all the way up to 400. There's 400 bottles total, and it will sell out. So yeah, I encourage you to check. If there's like a whiskey lover in your life and you're looking for a cool gift for them. Also wanted to let you know, coming up on the 23rd of December. So Real Talk. So our final show is going to be on the 22nd of December. That's a Monday. Supriya, Johnny, and I are going to hang out. That'll be our final show before Monday, January 5th, when we're back. So we're off. We'll do a show on the 22nd. We'll be back on the 5th. But on the 23rd, it's our annual Real Talk VIP holiday Zoom party. And this is for all levels of membership on our YouTube channel members. So the Real Talker, the Real Deal, and the Real VIP, as well as our Patreon members. I saw some feedback in our chat earlier today, and somebody was saying, hang on a second, who was this? I wanted to reference. It was Tyler Watson. Shout out to you, Tyler. Says, I feel left out. Says you're talking about, mailing out all these cool things based on all the Spotify Wrapped to the top 0.5% of the audience says, Tyler, I haven't missed a live stream this year.
Wow.
Tyler, that's absolutely incredible. If you're at any level of membership on our YouTube channel or a Real Talk Patreon supporter, you will be provided with that Zoom link ahead of December 23rd. And at 8:30, we're going to live stream that. It's me, Johnny, special guests, some giveaways, some prizes. One of the ways that we hope to say thank you and show our appreciation through the year. And then we will also post that as a private YouTube video for those of you that are channel members. So you'll be able to check it out, even if you can't join us live.
And we'll be making merry during the Zoom. Ryan has bottle number 188. So that would lead me to believe that half of these 400 bottles are gone. So you better go get them.
And that was when he bought it, which was like a number of days ago. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that's definitely going to sell out. There's no question about that. The only question about it, as far as I'm concerned, is if you buy it, do you open it? Because I know for a lot of collectors, it's
a
like
special occasion, or
right.
It just sits there.
I'm of the thinking that you open it.
You have to.
My Uncle Keith down in California, my dad's older brother, always said to me, he said, you don't save special wine for special occasions.
No.
He said that a special wine makes any occasion special.
You don't want to die with a wine cellar that's worth millions or whatever. I would guess that it's kind of a gesture if you have a friend who enjoys whiskey, that you pull out a bottle, like a numbered bottle, especially a nice bottle, and say, hey, tonight we're celebrating XYZ of your life, and it's a respect thing.
Jay Goose, and I want to give Jay Goose a shout out, not just because he's a YouTube channel member, but also because he is a returning volunteer at our Real Talk Pond Hockey Classic. That's going on January 31st, by the way. RyanJesperson.com. Click on events if you want to register.
How's the weather looking?
Goose, I mean, if I look now, I'll start stressing out. Rain or shine, baby. Minus 29 last year was absolutely wild. The year before, it was plus 3.
There's never been rain.
No. Goose says, as I get older, or as I got older, drinking hurt more and I remembered less. And Goose says, I'm coming up on 3 years alcohol-free. That's absolutely incredible, Goose. He says, that said, it is sometimes difficult to see and hear, alcohol references on the show at 8:30 a.m. Totally get it, buddy. And, as we say, as Real Talk, it's real life. I know that sometimes, there's people that, take issue with some of our advertising partners. There are people that take issue with some of the language we use on the show. Totally get it. We try to just be upfront about that. We consider the criticism. We try to amplify our criticism as much as possible and let you guys know that it resonates with us. And we consider this stuff and we think about it. And at the end of the day, it is real life. And that means that some of us are going to talk about booze and at the same time recognize those of you for whom it's a struggle, and show you some love as well. And I hope that translates in a real life way and that it resonates with you. I'm really proud of you for 3 years. That's incredible. Jillian says, my birthday's in January, so I hate all you dry January jerks. She says, I said what I said. That from Jillian. I love that.
Do you want to hear the weather report for January 31st, 2026?
When you trust
it's
a fork?
good.
Okay, then I want to hear it.
It is going to be minus 10.
Oh, that's
partly
perfect.
Cloudy, which is perfect for great ice, but not too cold that you're not having a great time.
Minus 10 is perfect for snowboarding, perfect for pond hockey.
Take that with a grain of salt. We're like a month and a half out. So
yeah, I'm not going to try. I mean, I'm not going to trust.
But that looks good for now.
I'm trying to search. If you Google Real Talk Pond Hockey, or not Google it, but rather if you find it on YouTube, check this out. So this was, we posted this. This was last year's, and this was really wild. Minus 29.
Ooh.
You guys, we had 24 teams registered. It sells out every single year. Look at all those bonfires ripping, hey? This is something where the city of St. Albert steps up in a huge way to make this possible for us. The Lozzie Cup is what everybody's playing for in memory of our dear friend, Tim Loznick, who was a participant at the Real Talk Pond Hockey Classic. There's Craig Strain, who's the founder of the tournament. Here's the boys and the girls. Obviously, a lot of different people. Former pro hockey player Dustin Johnner in attendance there. There's Strainer. He's the founder of this tournament in its 14th year, and Real Talk is so proud as the presenting sponsor to work with Molson and other amazing groups to raise funds. Typically every year, 40, 50 grand for kids sport and uncles and aunts at large. But the vibe out there is so special. There's Apex Automation, our ice cleaning sponsor. You had a 750,000 BTU. Someone's going to go, Jespo made a mistake on that number. No, I did not. A 750,000 BTU BTU propane heater with like an industrial tank that was heating the festival tent. So everybody was warm. I think inside the tent, Johnny, you were spinning tunes in there. It was like -3 or something. It was pretty mellow, but it was literally -29 outside. And everybody, we had 24 teams registered. Guess how many teams showed up? 24. Absolutely incredible. This year, we're hoping for milder temperatures. The pucks were like cracking, so hopefully it'll be a little bit more chill this year. That's Brett Brightcrews right there, former Edmonton Oil King that showed up to support. Had an absolute blast for charity. Again, that's January 31st this year at Larry Alexiak Field in St. Albert. You can sign up to play, volunteer, or sponsor today via the events link at ryanjesperson.com, the Real Talk Pond Hockey Classic. Very cool stuff. Before we go, I did want to point out a couple of different things. We did get a note from Lori. So I didn't speak too soon. I'll take that back. But Lori reached out to us and she said that her Spotify Wrapped had her as a top 0.5% Real Talk listener and let us know that she had more than 14,000 minutes listened to the podcast, which is mind-blowing, if you ask me, in 2025. And so, number one, we sent her a care package immediately to thank her for that as a top 0.5%er. And then we put the call out to you. If you're listening to us on Spotify, or if you have data, if you have analytics that show your time spent listening, if you're a 0.5%er, we're going to send you something like this. Well, Lori's package has already arrived, and she has already sent us a photo back. And she says she just wanted to let us know that the Eagle has landed. I think she's going to keep the Real Talk socks for herself, John. Any of our Patreon supporters get free socks. Well, not free. It's included in your support. Thanks for doing that. She says her son has claimed the Real Talk toque, and Snoop on a Stoop has claimed the Real Talk matches. And so Snoop will be using the Real Talk matches to light his blunts through the holiday season. Maybe passing to Lori too. So there you go, Lori. We wish you the best. And thanks to everybody. Send us an email to talk@ryanjesperson.com if you have evidence that you are a top 0.5%er when it comes to the Real Talk audience. Guys, we're obviously having a lot of fun today. We're going to be back at it tomorrow. Probably no old fashions on the table when I interview the leader of His Majesty's official opposition, Naheed Nenshi, will join me in studio as we talk to both the major party leaders this week right here on Real Talk. Nenshi coming up. If you have a question for him, send it into talk@ryanjesperson.com. And thanks in advance to those of you that are telling your friends about the show, that are subscribing to us on the podcast, on YouTube, and spreading the word. Here's to bigger and better things in 2026. Talk soon.
Real Talk is hosted by Ryan Jesperson, executive producer Josh Dunford, technical producer John Hicks, general manager Katie Cook-Chivers, account coordinator Lawrence Derlego, human resources Lena Shepard, website design Mike Johnston, voiceover by me, Carrie Skelton, member emerita Julie Rohr. Real Talk is recorded in Edmonton, Alberta on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional and ancestral territory of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, and Nakota Sioux, home to the Métis settlements and the Métis Nation of Alberta. Real Talk is a relay project. For more, check out ryanjesperson.com.